Hello shufflers and welcome back to Cardistry Talk. Today I got a little hot video for you guys, the Virtuoso tier list that I promised a little whiles back. Real quick, Cardistry Talk is a Patreon supported show, so if you'd like to support, if you join in the month of August, you will get sent a Cardistry Talk sticker pack for free, which includes the Cardistry Talk Patreon supporter exclusive sticker. So if you want to check that out, the link will be in the description. On with the video. I'm super excited to talk to you guys about these decks, what I think about them. Now, I only own the most recent ones, but I have seen and felt some of the other ones, and I think I have enough knowledge to form an opinion on this matter, but take my thoughts with a grain of salt. That being said, this is an unofficial list. There is no official list, despite what previous versions of Caleb might have tried to tell you. They were just variants. So without further ado, I think let's just crack on with the list. So we're going to start with the Spring Summer 2013 deck. This was the Virtuoso's first deck. It was a nice red color there. This deck has some really nice color tones to it, a really nice dark red, some really nice blacks. I love the intricacy that they put to every design aspect of the deck, really honkering down and focusing on making a deck that looks really good for flourishes, whether it be fans, springs, anything that you can imagine. I think they really nailed that original aspect that has carried them through to where they are now. If you try to find this deck, it is obscenely expensive, and that's why I don't have one. But from what I've heard, most people do like the feel. Overall, I'm a really big fan of deep, dark colors. So for me, personally, just with my style, I'm gonna throw this up in probably the A tier. So fast forward 1 year and you have the Spring Summer deck for 2014. This had some really nice blues and oranges in it. A really awesome colorway. Obviously there's some complementary colors with the deep blue and the orange. It's honestly probably one of my favorite colorings. This one's also super expensive, also feels good from what I've heard. For me, I like it a lot. This deck in particular, I think really fits the spring and summer aesthetic that they say they're kind of going for. Some really bright, vibrant colors that really make you think of summer, some nice oranges, some nice blues, and it really makes me think of almost like a beach or an island. I'm a big fan of it. I think I'm gonna toss it up there in A as well. I don't think I'm going to plan on putting anything in C or D, so that's going to be maybe a little disappointing for you guys, but the Virtuosos just kind of constantly kill it, even if they take a million years to release anything. Next up on the chopping block, we have the 2015 Spring Summer edition. This threw in a nice light red, light blue, and some gray tones into it. Really great coloring. Just all around, they usually do really well with their coloring and making it look unique, vibrant, and really fresh perspective on how they color their cards, throwing in, some really nice tone. That being said, this one doesn't hit me as being one of the better colorways. It's still a really great colorway, but for me, it's not quite as good as the original two. I really like those deep, vibrant colors, and these are more lighter tones. So just for me personally, I think I'm gonna toss this up in B. Fast forward a year again, and we have the Spring and Summer 2016 deck from the Virts. This has some really nice yellow turn. Okay, my lights really suck at making yellow. That looks really green to me. But we have some really nice yellow and gray and black tones on this deck. I really enjoy this one, and I think it's not as good as the first and second one, but the colorway is definitely good. I would say even better than the 2015s. This deck is where we first start to see some really heavy, really awesome promotion from the Virts. They made the liquid paper video inspired by Bruce Lee, and just really brought this amazing cinematography and video editing to Cardistry. They've really hunkered down and made something truly special with the cinematics, doing some moves that look absolutely insane in slow-mo. So this one is absolutely insane. Liquid Paper actually went on to have 5.3 million views, which is absolutely wild for a Cardistry video. For most people, views like that for me, I mean, just a little, not that much, but for most people that would be a lot. I love how intentional all the shots in this video are. My friend Hunter actually did a really good breakdown of this on the Cardistry Gang YouTube channel, so I'll link that in the description if you want to check that out. But it's just insane the amount of effort and thought that they put into every scene for that video. But because of the coloring, I'm going to go ahead and throw it up in B. I do like it better than the 2015, but not as much as the original two. Next up, it's going to take a little bit more than a year for the Virts' next release, and that's going to be the Fall/Winter 2017 deck with a really nice green aesthetic on this deck. And I'm having a little bit too much fun with these lights, honestly. You have some really nice greens, some really nice grays, really nice blacks. Not my favorite colorway just because I'm not a huge fan of forest green, but if you are, this deck's gonna slap for you. Definitely invokes some winter vibes with kind of the forest green, kind of making me think of pine trees, things like that. So I think they really did a good job of putting this in the fall and winter and kind of giving those vibes. And this deck also released with some really great promotional video. They released Rise with this video. This one hasn't garnered quite as many views as Liquid Paper. It's only at 2.4 million at the moment, which, like I said, most people, that's a lot. Me, not that much. Not that much. Kidding aside, that is some massive numbers for Cardistry and definitely has hit the mainstream, which is really cool to see. But for me, color's not my favorite. I'm gonna toss it up in B. Actually, C? No, B. It's a good deck, but I think it's my least favorite. Next up, we have the most recent release from them, the P1 Prism deck. This was a huge wait for this deck, just absolutely huge wait. And was it worth it? What are my thoughts on this deck? Well, I gotta say, I'm a huge fan. They didn't really do too many videos to promote this, which is kind of disappointing when they knocked it out of the park the past two, but it is still a really good deck. A lot of awesome design elements went into this, but still definitely has the Virts charm. This deck is called Prism because on the front it kind of looks like a prism. It's white, it's black, and then on the face cards and quartz you have these really nice colors, some blues, some greens, some yellows, really nice stuff. And I'm going to toss white in the background for Prism, I guess. Our Prism's white. I'm dumb. I love the amount of effort they put into this, but some of it just doesn't sit right with me. For example, they have a number 5 card in this deck that also has a V and a 5 on different ends of the card, and I dislike that for some reason. I do love that there's circles on every front of this, and it really reminds me of the Echo decks or Aerodynamics, where they have kind of a single focused type of deal, but not every aspect quite hits for me. That being said, I'm really excited to see what they do in the future. Hopefully they'll have more releases for Prism, but this one was kind of disappointing in that they didn't promote it, and it's also kind of disappointing that I feel like I haven't seen a lot of people post using this deck when it's such a good design deck for Cardistry. It's kind of disappointing that a lot of people haven't been posting as much, especially when it's a deck from the Virts. I feel like the amount of decks that were sold doesn't really reflect the amount of things that I've seen where they've been used. That being said, love the deck. I'm going to toss it up in A as well. Looking at this list now, I think I'm going to go ahead and put the second version of the Virts deck at the top there. That's my favorite, I think, just based off of coloring, and the complementary colors are super nice, but you can't really go wrong with any of these decks. These are all really good. So congrats to the Virts for finally releasing the Prism deck. It only took about 7 decades. Congrats to myself for finally releasing this video. It only took about 7 decades. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sure this probably felt like 7 decades watching this. No, it didn't. This was a great video and you know it. And because you know that, you should like and subscribe and all that stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. It was fun doing this again. I feel like I haven't made a video in a while, so thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon. I have some other tier lists you guys can check out if you haven't seen them, with Fontaines, anyone's, you name it. I'm getting to the point where I've done a lot of them. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys again soon.